Jaloskis, everybody! Yes, oh yes. In this video, we're going to be words. In this video, we're going to be learning about 7.2 ellipses and circles.
Ooh, so pretty.
Here's standard form for ellipses and circles. Go ahead and get down all of this information, and then I'm going to draw a circle, rather, an ellipse, so that you can better see kind of what these things mean. But make sure you have standard form down, and you have standard form down. Circle is pretty straightforward, but I want to talk to you more about an ellipse. So let's take a look at what an ellipse looks like and what these things actually mean on a graph. Okay, so here are two different parabolas. The center is always HK, so the center is pretty easy to pull out. So say we have a center here. In this case, this is, notice when we have a bigger distance in the x direction, this is when your major axis, all that means is that is the axis that is the longest. So if I drew a straight line, that's the one that's longest. So down here, the major axis, it looks like is actually in the y direction. Whereas we also have something called the minor axis, which is just the smaller distance. So the smaller distance. Could be x, could be y, either one. C, like we said, was our focus. The distance, C is the distance of the focus from the center. So the focus is always going to lie on your major axis. So here, your major axis is your x-axis. So you're going to go the focus distance away from the center, the focus distance away from the center on that one on your y-axis, since your y-axis is your major axis there. A is always your distance in your x direction, B is always the distance in the y direction. And you can find C. This case it would be c squared is a squared minus b squared. This case it would be c squared equals b squared minus a squared. So pretty much just such that you can take the square root of a positive number, which you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. Let's take a look at one of these things. Okay, in this example it has graph the ellipse. Yay! All we have to do is graph it. So go ahead and draw your coordinate grid. So for your center for this one, center with your x is a plus 4, so you would have negative 4 minus 3, so positive 3. So our center is at negative 4, 3. So I'll go over 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, put my center of the ellipse. Cool. Now for this tells me that a squared is 9, b squared is 4, so then I know my a, or the distance in the x direction, is 3, my b should be 2, so I will go 2 units in the y direction. So for this a, I'm going to go 3 units to the right, so 3 units to the right. For b, I will go 1, 2, 3 units to, for a again on 3 units to the left in either direction. For b, since that's 2, I will go 2 up, 2 down, put the other points, and now I can draw somewhat of an ellipse. Probably not going to be very good. Yeah, this is going to be terrible. The bottom looks better than the top, but that should be something like an ellipse. If you were to ask to find the foci, either foci, you would have c squared equals a squared minus b squared, where this is just your bigger term. So in this case, my bigger term is 9, so I have 9 minus 4. So this is 5. Don't forget that c squared, so c is plus or minus square root 5. So all that means for my foci, I'm going to go plus or minus square root 5, which square root of 5 is 2.24. I believe, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. We're going to go 2.24 in either direction, and there would be your foci for that ellipse. You could also say the coordinates of the foci if it asks for that, since it goes from your x part of your center. You would have negative 4 plus or minus square root of 5, comma 3, since your y value stays the same. Yay! All right, doing the same thing, graphing the ellipse. In this one, it looks like my center is going to be 2, negative 1. Again, I get that from looking at the values. X minus 2, so I'll pull out a 2. Plus 1, so I'll pull out minus 1. Okay, now, center to, I can't pick it up. 2, negative 1. Yay, there's my center. And it looks like this is a squared, this is b squared. So the distance in the x should be 4. The distance in the y should be 5. So now if I go 4 in either direction on the x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the y, so 1, Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a really bad ellipse. Yeah, that's really bad. It'll be easier when you actually have a graph given to you. But biggest thing to note here is that your b is larger, so your y direction is your major axis. So for your c squared, to find your focus, you would have b squared, in this case, minus a squared. So we would have 25 minus 16 is equal to 9, so that's c squared, which means c is 3. So for your points, you would go up 1, 2, 3. There's one of your focuses. 1, 2, 3. There's another focus, and there would be your ellipse. And foci, So we're adding or subtracting 3 to the y value of our center. So we would have 2. If I add 3, it would be at 2. If I subtract 3, it would be at -4. So there would be your 2 foci. Sweet. So now that we know how to graph an ellipse once it is in standard form, I'm going to walk you guys through how to kind of put something in standard form. It's just like what we did on parabolas and what you did in Algebra 2 when you had to complete the square. So with this, I notice I have 4x squared and I have -64x. So just to make it a little bit easier, I'm just going to write those terms next to each other. So I have 4x squared minus 64x. Same thing with the y's. I have y squared and minus 12y. So I'll add those two so that they are next to each other. So plus y squared minus 12y. And I'm going to move this 276 to the other side. So that now I have my y's together, I have my x's together. So with completing the square, don't forget this term right here, this x squared term or this y squared term, it has to have a coefficient of 1. Since the x's do not, I'm going to kind of group these together and just factor out a 4 from these parts. So I would have 4 times x squared minus 16, x plus something to complete the square. Plus I'll have my y squared part, so y squared minus 12y plus something equals -276 plus 2 things. Sweet. Now the number that goes inside here, divide your 16 by 2, you have 8. 8 squared is 64, but check it out. It is being multiplied by 4 on this side, so 64 times 4 is 256, so when I add to the other side, I will have to add 256 to the other side. To get what term goes here to complete the square, divide 12 by 2, we get 6. Then it has to be squared, so 36, not being multiplied, so I'll add 36 to the other side. So now I have 4 times x minus 8 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals -276, this is 16. You got that. Yeah, you caught that. I know you did. And since it has to be equal to 1 in standard form, I need to divide everything by 16. 4 divided by 16, I'm pretty sure reduces to 1/4. And it's just a matter of copying everything else. So then you could graph it from there if you needed to. Your center would be 8, 6. It would go 2 in your x direction. It would go 4 in your y direction. And you could have a lovely time finding your focus. Oh yeah. So again, in this example, we are doing the same thing, putting the ellipse in standard form. So again, I'm just going to group it. So I have x squared minus 12x plus 25y squared. Noah. Okay, so now I can actually complete the square, but notice again with your y term, you do not have a coefficient of 1, so you need to factor out 25 from those terms. So we have x squared minus 12x plus something, plus factor out the 25, so you have just y squared minus 4y plus something equals -111 plus something. I'm only writing them on top of each other because I'm running out of space. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, now again, the first thing that goes here, divide -12 by 2, that's -6. -6 squared is 36. So I'll add 36 on that side and that side. Bless you, Noah.
Yeah.
I didn't sneeze.
I'm actually coughing.
No, it was a sneeze.
No, it's actually.
Don't trust him. Figure out what goes in there. You have -4 divided by 2 is -2. Squared is 4. But don't forget this is being multiplied by 25, so I actually need to add 100 to the opposite side. So now I can do my next step. Factor, so x minus 6 squared plus 25 times y minus 2 squared equals, what is that? Oh, it hurts, 25. And then just divide everything by 25. Yay! I love dividing. Dividing is the best thing. That's not 25. No. Yay! Standard form. Okay, doing a different type of example. Write the equation for the ellipse with the given characteristics, and then you do the hand worm. It's moving too fast. It's not catching it. No, cool, Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I move the paper. No! Why'd you move the paper?
No idea.
You're going to be in this video so much.
And
You're going to be popular. You're going to say, hey, friends, go look at this video and you hear my voice. And then 60 years down the road, you're going to look up this video and be like, ha! My voice sounded so different then.
that's true.
So in this one, I'm given vertices are 4, 3, and 4, negative 9. So I have 4, 3 somewhere up here. 4, negative 9 right now. Down there. And it tells us that the minor axis length is 8. Well, my vertices, I will tell you, are always on the major axis. Major axis. Yay. So my minor axis is 8 units long. So I know it goes 4 units from the center in either direction. You can draw your ellipse if that helps you visualize. Looks like a Pokeball, though. I know, I made that reference. It's terrible.
No, it wasn't.
And for your major axis, if you went from 3 to negative 9, then you went 12 units, so I know that this is 6 units. Well, if you go 6 down from 3, that should put you at 4, negative 3. So there's my center. I know my major axis length, my minor axis length. So I can say x minus 4 squared plus y plus 3 squared over. X direction should be 16, y direction should be 36, equals 1. Oh yeah. In this one, still doing the same thing, writing the equation of the ellipse with the given characteristics. We are given a foci, and we are given the vertices. So if I go ahead and draw this out, I have vertices 9, 2, and negative 1, 2, and I have foci 0, 2, and that's not right. 8, 2. 8, 2. Yeah, that says 8, 2. Okay, so what that tells me is I have my ellipse. That's pretty. Oh, so cute. And I can find the major axis length because I know my center is somewhere in the middle. If it went from negative 1 to 9, the major axis length should be 5 units long. My foci, it looks like, are 8 units total, so 4 units apart. So I can say that my center should be 4, 2 here. And I can use everything else to figure out the equation. So I have, let's see, x minus 4 squared over something, well, it's 25, plus y minus 2 squared over something equals 1. Now to figure out this b squared, I know that c is 4, so I can say 4 squared equals 5 squared minus b squared, my other term squared. So this is 16 equals 25 minus b squared. So b squared has to be 9 for that to be true, so there we go. Happy day. Alright, here we go. Write in standard form to identify the conic. Conic, all that is just whether it's a parabola, a ellipse, circle, or what else? What else is there? Hyperbola? Hyperbola? Hyperbola. Yes. So for standard form, with this one, I noticed that I only have an x squared term. So already I know this one is going to be a parabola. But to write it in standard form, I notice I have an 8x. So I need to move over my 8y. I need to move over the 40. So I'll have x squared minus 8x plus something to complete the square equals 8y plus 40 plus something to complete the square. Divide 8 by 2 is 4, so 16 and 16. So then I can say this is x minus, oh what?
Sorry.
I'm just kidding, it's not his fault. but he's a good trooper. This would be 8y plus 56, so I can factor out the 8, so 8 times y plus 7. Yay, standard form. Oh, so pretty. Yay. And again, right in the standard form. So I'm going to combine my x's, get my y's together. Have a good night, Noah. Plus y squared minus 6y, and I'll move 39 to the other side. Yes. Okay, then I can complete the square, so x squared minus 8x plus something plus y squared minus 6y plus something equals 39 plus something plus something. Cool, didn't run out of room. So here, 8 divided by 2 is 4, so 16 and 16. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so 9 and 9. Add all of those up, factor, so x minus 4 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 39 plus 16, so 39 plus 25, 64. Okay, so notice, with this one, this is in the form x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared, so this would be a circle. Oh yeah. Fast motion. To the other one. Oh yeah. Oh, wait. Whoa! People are looking at me weird. I don't like it when people look at me weird. Actually, I don't care. I think it's kind of funny. Write the equation of the circle with the given characteristics. Well, I know I have the formula x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. I'm given the radius, I'm given h, I'm given k. All I have to do is write it in the formula. Oh yeah, so x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals the radius squared, which is 9. Oh yeah. Wah! Okay, in this circle, we have a center of 4, negative 5, so I have x minus 4 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals, I don't know the radius though. This part, tangent to the line y equals 0. Well, what that means, don't forget, a tangent to a circle is just a point that touches the circle in only one spot. What's up, Cooley? You are now in it. They are now going to know you are in it forever. Okay, so with this, a tangent line, like I said, it only touches at one point, so that means the radius goes straight to where the tangent line touches. So if I know that my tangent line is y equals 0, that means my tangent line is right there, line y equals 0, right? And if my circle has a center of 4, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from here to the tangent line, that is my radius, where you have a circle. Oh boy. Circle. Okay. This is 5 units away because it went down 5, so my radius is 5. Therefore, that has to be 25. Yay! Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will see you in class. If so, bye-bye!